my chips. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6 stacks. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich. I'm rich. Look at my chips. Yeah. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich.
All right. Great morning. Great morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. All right. So, what we're going to cover as usual, we go over what we trade. Then we're going to talk about how we trade it. And today we're going to get into some numbers and bring all of this together on the bigger picture and how this all plays a major role in what we do. Okay. So, what we trade the NASDAQ index, NASDAQ 100 index. And this index caters to investors interested in innovative, growth-oriented companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and others, offering a diverse selection of industry leaders driving economic progress and technological advancement. And so some of the companies that you all might be, fully aware of are companies like Apple, Amazon, okay, and then we have Comcast, Monster Beverage, Microsoft, Adobe, Ross, Paychex, Cintas, Intel. So a lot of different companies that you all are familiar with. We trade the performance of this index, okay. And so there's a specific strategy that we use. And shout out to anybody that was in the academy yesterday that took advantage of that buy. That was a really great buy for the win. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. So let's go to what we actually trade. So this is what we trade. Let's go to how we trade it. Okay. So this is the market open concept. And with this concept, and great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning. Okay. And with this concept, what we're looking at is a couple of steps that are extremely important. All right. So the first step, and this is just a quick disclaimer before I get into everything so you guys can review over that. Okay. But the first step that we must do before we do any strategy, we have to determine, our directional bias. We have to determine our directional bias. Okay. Now, happy new day, Mary. Glad you could join us. Glad you could join us. Happy new day. All right. So now with the directional bias, it tells us that we need to identify which direction and what type of trades we should be looking for based on the direction of the 200 EMA. So the 200 EMA is like our GPS. Okay. If it's going up, then we should be looking for buys. That's what it's telling us. If it's going down, then we should be looking for sales. Okay, that's what it's telling us. And if it's moving sideways, then we have to be cautious. Okay, and enter more so on the Keltner side. Okay, so that's what this is talking about here. So that's the first thing we have to do when we go to the chart. So I'm going to go to the chart and we're going to kind of go back and forth here because I want to apply the steps as we walk through this. Okay, so if we're looking at, I'm going to go to NAS 1 second. Let me pull it up. Okay. And if we're looking at NAS, and again, I'm on a 15-minute chart, guys. So that's extremely important to know which time frame you're on. Okay. But with NAS, we can clearly see, all right, this is our 200, this blue line right here. You can clearly see that this 200 is moving up. So our directional bias for today are buys. We're looking for buys only. The only time we start looking for sales is if price breaks through the 200 and breaks through a second level past that. And so we talked about that a little bit last week. But that's the only way we will be looking in the opposite direction because we need full confirmation that the price is trying to reverse. But today, specifically, we are looking for buys because look at how Look at the momentum of NAS. It's just been moving up for the past probably 2 weeks or so. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. All right, now let's go to the second step. All right, so we know what our directional bias is. Okay, we know what that is. Now we have to figure out what we do next. All right, so let's go to our second step here. So with the second step, it's telling us that once you have identified your directional bias, so we already identified that, okay, so that's our buy. Based on the 15-minute chart, that's what chart we were on. Look at the most recent support and resistance levels near current price. So, really quick, support and resistance. Support, for those of you all that aren't familiar, that's the floor. Okay, support is the floor. So, we like support in bullish movements. When you throw a ball down to the floor, the natural reaction is for the ball to bounce up. When you throw the ball up to the ceiling, the natural reaction is for the ball to bounce down. Okay? So this is resistance. This is our ceiling. Okay? This is our ceiling. And this is support, which is our floor. Okay? So we're going to bring all of this in a minute. So let's go look at our support and resistance near current price. All right, so if we zoom in here, we can clearly see. All right, let me just grab a couple of more key levels here, so we can analyze that. Okay, so our point of resistance is here. Okay, remember what I said. When you throw the ball up to the ceiling, the natural reaction is for price to go down, or the ball to go down. So price came up to this level of resistance, came up to this ceiling, and it's pushing down. Okay, so that's the resistance there. Now we need to identify support. So support is our floor. So let me grab another key level here. And we're going to drop that right here. Okay, so notice how when price came down to this area here, it's not just dropping, it's finding some level of support here where it kind of bounced a little bit. Okay, so we're here, came down, and then now we're bouncing up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to just drop a couple of more levels in between so we can know where we're headed. All right, so we can know where we are headed. All right, good stuff. Okay, so now we have our levels here. We have clearly identified our levels here. Now we have to put our buy zones and our sell zones in place now that we have our levels. Okay, so our buy zone, because our directional bias is a buy, that means we have the buyers have more momentum to push price up. So we don't need to break through multiple layers of the key levels in order to get a nice buy. Okay, so our next buy is a nice little breakout pullback continuation setup here, and I'll get into that in a minute. Okay, but for our sell zone, that's a little bit more tricky because we need to break the 200 and then break the level that's beneath the 200. So this will be our sell zone here. Okay, this will be our sell zone. So as you can see, price has some ways to go before it even comes down here. And right now, we had news at 8:30, and that wasn't. We had news at 8:30, and that didn't really do too much. Okay, outside of that, we don't have anything else for the rest of today. Okay, so hopefully we can get our buy set up here to play out the way that we want to. All right. So now that's the first part of step 2. Now let's get into the second part of step 2. The second part of step 2 says for a bullish BPC, you are looking for a buy. So we already determined our directional bias. We're looking for buy. So that means we're looking for a bullish BPC. What does BPC stand for? Breakout, pullback, continuation. Okay. This pattern repeats itself over and over and over and over again. And the better you're able to identify this pattern, the more you'll be profitable. Okay. So let's go look at the second part of this. All right. So we know that we're looking for a bullish BPC. So this is a bullish BPC right here, this illustration right here. Okay. So let's look at it. Here's the key levels that that the breakout happened, right? So the breakout candle is this candle right here where the arrow is pointing, right? That's the breakout candle. Okay. All right. The breakout candle breaks through the most recent support used for sell entry or resistance used for buy entry. In this case, this was resistance right here. That was our ceiling, right? It broke through our ceiling and it broke and it stayed there. Okay. The body of the candle broke through. All right. Now, the pullback retraces back to the same level of support or resistance. So in this case here, for a bullish BPC, this red candle right here, okay, pulled back to this level and used this as the new floor now. Okay, so it went kind of like this. It went through, bounced, and then it went up. That's the floor. That's support right there. Okay, the floor is supporting price. All right, so there's our pullback. The continuation candle engulfs or moves past the pullback candle. Okay, so here's the continuation candle here. Okay, it broke past our red candle, which is this one right here. Okay, so now we know that our continuation is valid, and there's a high chance that price will continue to the upside, which it did. All right, so that's what we're looking for today, guys, is a BPC setup, a bullish BPC setup. So if we go back to the chart here, we want to see, and zoom in a little bit, we want to see price break out of here, okay? Let me just see if I can draw this for you guys really quick. A little quick illustration for you. Hold on one second. Let me see if my pen want to work today. If not, I got to use another tool. Okay, there we go. All right, so we want price to break out of here with a bullish candle. Break out of our key level. Okay, this is our key level right here. Then we want price to pull back and use this now as support. Okay, we don't want it coming all the way back down here because then we might be getting fully rejected. So we wanted to pull back here, and then we want continuation to the upside. Okay, so that continuation candle, remember, has to break past our pullback level. Okay, so if we get that, then that's a good sign for us to get in, and we're going to take it up to about 0.1% take profit, and we're out. All right, so that's what we're looking for today. A breakout, a pullback, and then continuation for our trade. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, please put it in the comment section and let me know. Great morning to everybody else that has joined. Great morning. Okay, so now let's talk about some numbers. Okay, so the market open BPC strategy is something that we use specifically for when the market opens at 9:30. But there's another concept that we use, which is the crossover that we use with our signals and stuff like that. So majority of the crossovers pretty much win between 75 to 80%. But we're going to say 80% to keep things kind of simple. Okay? So, and if you don't know what I mean about the crossover, it's very simple. So you have your 200 EMA going down, right? And then you have your 200 EMA going up. Okay? And here's the crossover. So price crosses over, there's a sell, right? Go down, Prices cross over back down to the downside, there's a sell. A buy, price crosses up, there's a buy, right? Price crosses back up, there's another buy. Okay? So, what this is saying is that there's an 80% chance. Okay? Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can really see what I'm doing here. Okay? There's an 80% chance of winning for you to winning your trades, right? Winning rate. Okay? Now, if you took 10 trades, that means you will win 8 out of 10 trades. Just by using this concept. I would say, but let's say 7. Let's say 7 and do it on the low end. 7 out of 10 trades. Okay? So, with this scenario, let's run some math here. Okay? If you have a $200,000 account, and we teach you how to leverage this in Blue Chips Academy, but let's just say you have your $200,000 account, and you're risking $1,000 per trade. Okay? So your risk is $1,000 per trade. Okay? So now, what you are looking at here is, hold on, let me spread this out just a little bit. Okay? $1,000 per trade. So that means that out of 10 trades, you won 8. Okay? So your profit, okay, is $8,000. And if we multiply that, and let's just say, I don't know, you know what? Let's just keep it simple. Let's just do it for the month, for 30 days. 8,000 times, okay, 30 times 4 equals $32,000 that you made for the month. Okay? This is the bigger picture right here. Okay? Just by following this simple concept, when the price crosses beneath the 200, and you guys already have the rules and all the tools, right? When price crosses beneath the 200, and I'll make this yellow right here. Right here. When. Right? Another win. Another win. You putting yourself in position to gain these types of profits. Same situation, you're just playing at a higher level now. Okay? So I started a $50,000 account for this week. So I'm doing like some testing on that as well, but I did start a $50,000 account this week. So in the next 2 weeks, I'm looking to scale to 200,000. Okay? But this is where we are, guys, right here. Okay? With a very, very simple concept. So this is why we want to continue to grow. And everybody that's in the academy this week in training, I'm going to show you how to see that consistent growth over time, just making a small iteration to what you guys are already doing. All right, a small iteration that will give you that consistency of growth, and it's something that you guys are already kind of familiar with. Okay, so get excited about that because I am going over that on Friday. So when you guys get your large accounts, these are the profits that you should be excited about. Okay, these are profits that you should be excited about. Any questions on this, guys? Any questions? All right, if you do have questions, put them in the comment section. Great morning, Kelly. Great morning. How you doing? Glad to have you on. Great morning. Okay, so no questions. All right, excellent. So let's go. So what I'm going to do now is it's 9:04, and we're going to see what Price wants to do today. All right, and we're going to come back at about, say, in the next 20 minutes. Okay, the next 20 minutes we're going to come back in, and we're going to see what the market looks like 5 minutes before the market opens. Okay, that's what we're going to do in regards to that. All right. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and timer on, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. Okay. All right, guys, let's do it. Awesome. right, so let's get right back into the market, guys. Let's look at the NAS chart and let's see what we have going on now. Hopefully price is still within the range so we can get a nice possible buy today, which it is. So that's really good. And it's actually using this this 24,380 level as a good, 24,359 level as a good level of support here. So this is extremely good here. So let's see if we can get price to, like I said, retest this area here. We get a nice BPC. We take it up to 0.1%. For those of you all that weren't on earlier, we are looking for the BPC setup. Okay, we're looking for the BPC setup and go from there. Okay. And Mary, I saw your comment. You said you was excited. I'm a little late on it, but I'm excited too. I'm excited for all of you guys. You guys are just doing some amazing things, and you're starting to witness those results for yourself. That's what makes it even more powerful. So, we got a lot of levels and a lot of things to accomplish here, and we just got to keep pushing forward and one foot in front of the other. Okay. But yes. So for those of you who aren't familiar, like I said before, we are looking for that BPC setup. We're looking for that BPC setup. Okay. So with the BPC setup, we're looking to basically have the breakout, pullback, continuation past our buy zone. Okay. Past our buy zone, and this is our buy zone here. If we can get that to happen, then we should be looking at a really, really good entry. Now, we do have to be cautious because this is a psychological barrier here. This is an all-time high for NAS. Let me just verify that. Let me go to the daily chart 1 second. Let's see here. I believe it is. Yep. It's an all-time high for NAS. Indeed. So, yeah, there's no other levels here. Yeah, so we definitely have to be careful because, again, barrier that people could either think price is going to reverse, and then you have a lot of bears that come into the play, and they, push price down, or we can continue to push to the upside. Okay, but either way, we're prepared for both. Just using our concepts, using our steps. If you want to risk a little bit more, feel free to do so. And if not, that's fine as well. But we're pretty much just going to be patient. We're going to wait, let everything play out. We're not going to rush anything. We're not going to be anxious. If you are a part of the Academy, I hope you guys are filling out your execution guide. That's really, really important that you guys are doing that so we can continue to track our growth throughout the week. And this is what's going to help you guys improve week after week on your trading. All right. So if you are a part of the Academy, make sure you guys are filling out your execution guide as we trade throughout this week. Okay. So it is 9:28. We have 1 minute and 35 seconds while we're waiting. What is your thoughts on the market today, guys? Are we getting into a buy or a sell? What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get into a buy or a sell? Put that in the comment section. Let me know. A buy or a sell? What do you guys think? Let me know what your thoughts are for that. Of course, my analysis is a buy for sure. But I want to know what you guys think. Are we getting into a buy or a sell? What do you guys think? Now, we know that can always change at any time, right? But let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay. A buy or a sell. Buy or a sell. Okay. Let's see what happens, guys. A buy or a sell. What does that look like? What does that look like? All right. Mary says a buy. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. We got 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds until the market opens. 20 seconds. Here we go. Again, if you took advantage of that buy yesterday, congratulations. That was a nice buy. Let's see if we can get another setup today. Okay. All right. The market is officially open, guys. The market is open. Let's see what opportunities we get today. If we can get price to come back up to the top of that level of resistance, then we'll see if we can get that BPC. Kelly says, of course it looks like a buy, but going into a no man's zone is iffy. That's right, Kelly. We have to be cautious of that. Great analysis. Great job, Kelly. Absolutely. All right, so let's see what we get. Let's see what we get, guys. Let's see. Hopefully we'll get some price action, some good price action early on. Sometimes NAS takes some time to figure out what it wants to do, and that's totally fine as well. We just wait for that optimal opportunity. Okay? Wait for that optimal opportunity to get in. So let's see if we can convert into a W. Now, if we don't see our setup and if we don't see what we want to see, we don't take the trade. It's a no trading day. We don't force it. Okay, so that's also important. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to shift over to the 5-minute chart so we can kind of see a little more structure here, what's going on. Okay, so we got a little 200 action here that's happening. Now, if we get, let's say price decides it wants to break through, if we get a double bottom, something like that, at one of these levels here, we can look for a buy as well. All right, so we can look for a buy. Let me see how far we are from the 200 on the 15-minute. I think we're pretty far away. Yeah, all the way down here. So we got some ways if we even want to consider a sale. But let's see if the bulls can use this as a strong level of support to continue to push price up to the upside. Let's see what we can get. Let's see. We're going to be patient. We're going to wait. Let's see what we get. Here we go. NAS is kind of struggling right now on this first candle. Let's see if it can hold support. If it holds support right here, then that'll be a good sign for us. That's actually something that I would prefer because it keeps us close to that buy zone where we can see a possible entry for our trade. But if we break through, then we have to reassess and kind of see where we could possibly get back in on a trade. So let's just see what the market wants to do. Let's see what the market wants to do. Here we go. All right, let's trying to break through here to the downside. Pretty strong bearish candle. All right, so we know if in order for us to even consider a sell, we have to break through the 200 and the level that's beneath it. And so right now we're like 2 or 3 levels away from that. So we still have some time here. But if I see a double bottom, then that will also put me in position to possibly take a buy as well. So we'll see. Nice little push to the downside. Not bad. Not bad at all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Look like it's trying to find support off of that 24.321 level with that wick at the bottom handle. So we'll see. This might be a nice little deep pullback to push to the upside. The next couple of candles will kind of tell us what what we're really looking at. But still a lot of time before this candle closes, so let me navigate to the 5-minute so we can see a little bit more detail. Okay, trying to push off the 200 here. See how this rolls for us. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Just waiting and being patient, waiting for our setup to come into fruition. We have about 15, 20 more minutes left on the session here. And let's see if we can make it happen. Let's see if we can make it happen, guys. Nothing too crazy here. Can we get a push to the upside? That is the question. Here we go. So right now, let's just kind of take a look at this from an analysis standpoint. On the 15-minute chart, meaning it takes 15 minutes for every candle to close. That's what the 15-minute chart means. Price is coming down to the downside here, okay? If it uses this level as support right here, so meaning price comes down, it kind of bounces a little bit, and then it comes down and bounces up again. To get a BPC here, then I'm going to take that buy. Okay? If it does not, okay, then what we're looking for is a possible sell entry, but not until we get down here. Okay, because anything in between, we can clearly see based on the 200 EMA. Remember how we look at the 200 EMA as our directional bias. The 200 EMA is moving up. So we need to be focused on buys. Here's our 200 right here. We need to be focused on buys. All right, right now price is moving kind of slow, but here's our 200 right here, okay? Price is moving kind of slow, so we have to be patient with that. That's a part of this process too, is that patience pays. If you wait for your setup, if you wait for your signals, if you wait for the chart to look the way you want it to look before you get into a trade, that puts you in a good position to win the other time. Being anxious and rushing and all of that doesn't help anything, right? Take your time, let it come into fruition, and then you execute your trade. Okay, but right now we're just kind of looking at setup here with NAS, and NAS is not moving right now. This one, it's just trying to come down, but I don't think it's going to last for long, to be honest. And if it does, then we know when to make our reversal. But we're waiting on that BPC. Great morning, everybody. Great morning. All right, so here we go. Price is still trying to drop here. We have 5 minutes left on this 15-minute chart. 15-minute candle. So we'll see in the next 5 minutes how this candle closes for us. We've seen time and time again where candles start off strong and then they don't close strong. That's why you always want to wait until the candles close. But guys, by applying that crossover concept and the market open between those two, once you get your large account, you should be making minimum. Let's say you get the $200,000 account, you should be making minimum $5,000 per week. Minimum with the $200,000 account. Okay? So let's see if we can get our setup, guys. Again, we're not going to force it. So if it's not there, then it's just not there. But if we see something, hey, of course we're going to take it. Of course. All right, but right now we just kind of hang around until the market figures out what it wants to do. And if you have questions, please feel free to put it in the comments section so I can address it, especially during times like this. This is a great time for me to explain certain things while the market is moving a little slow. Okay. Yesterday we kind of got an instant reaction to the BPC. Today we have to wait. And if we talk about, let me see. We can look at yesterday's trade another time, but it was a great setup. Great setup. And again, shout out to everybody that took advantage of that trade and made some profits off of that. So great job. Great job. But right now we are just waiting. We're waiting to get into our buy. And if price continues to drop, then we'll get into our sell. But right now our directional bias is a buy. So we're looking for that. We are definitely looking for that. So if you have questions, like I said, put it otherwise. Let's continue to wait for our setup. And I'll be on for about 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll see if we can hop in something before 10 o'clock. Okay. Let's see if we can hop into something before 10. Let's see if we can get a nice little push to the upside. Hopefully it doesn't stay at this level for too long, but we can't control that. We can't control that, guys. We can't control that one. Looks like it's trying to find support, though. I will say that. Got a minute and 20 left on this candle. Let's see how it closes out. Here we go. Of course, everybody online is they're optimistic for the buy. I'm optimistic for the buy too. So we'll see if we're right today. Hopefully we get that opportunity. And again, if you are in the academy and something happens after the live session, I will post in there as well for opportunities. 10 seconds left on this candle right here. 10 seconds. Let's go see what it's doing on a 5 minute. This could either be a pullback or it could be a setup for a double bottom. We'll see. Might begin a BPC to the downside. But again, we're not in our sell zone, so we not messing with it right now. If we do. Let's see. Sorry, it ain't too much action for today, guys. Yesterday was a good day. Today is moving a little slow. So we take what we get. We take what we get. It's still trying to hold at this 24,321 level, so we'll see. But I think it's going to take us a little while to get back to that buy zone. Price is moving really slow in this area. So there's no indication that, we'll be getting to that buy zone anytime soon. And there's no news or anything like that. So we're going to have to be patient on this one. Gonna get this thing about 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes to see if we get a good setup here. Okay. See if we get a setup. Not too much movement today, y'all. Not too much movement today. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Nas is asleep. Nas is asleep today, y'all. Nas is asleep today. All right, guys. So the way the price is moving, I don't think we're gonna get too much movement right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and set an alarm. I'm sorry, an alert here. At this 24,421 level, and then I'm going to set an alert here at this 24,166 level. All right, so those are the two levels that we're looking at right now, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. Right, so if you're in the academy, again, I'm going to post in the chat, and if we get anything, then we'll circle back. But it looks like we're starting to come to the downside. So if we get an opportunity past our sell zone here, y'all, then we will definitely look at that. We will definitely consider that for a sale. Okay? All right, guys. I want you guys to have a wonderful Tuesday. Sorry today we ain't had too much action. You know, it's all good. That's a part of the process. Hopefully by next Tuesday we'll see some movement in the market. And then otherwise, hey, we just keep it moving, take it day by day. So everybody that's in the academy, I'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. Let's keep this thing pushing. For everybody else that joined, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll catch you guys next Tuesday, same time.